Naturally skinny people's eating habit. Habits I've noticed from my naturally skinny friends. First off, they're not just naturally skinny. I know metabolisms vary, but most of my naturally skinny friends have some habits that vary a lot from my own right now. These are habits that I unintentionally had up until 1 year ago when I put on some weight. Back then, my BMI was 20, now it's 22.5. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I think many of these people who we assume are effortlessly thin actually have daily routines that help them stay in shape without constantly thinking about dieting or food. It keeps them from yo-yoing in weight. These are just some things that I've observed. They only eat when they're hungry. If they wake up in the morning and aren't hungry, they have just a yogurt for breakfast, or skip it altogether. Just because it's a mealtime doesn't mean it's time to eat. Say lunchtime comes but they're not hungry, then no need to eat. Dinner comes and you're barely hungry? Just a soup. If you're starving? Yup, have a big bowl of pasta. They eat in moderation. Basically, they know when to stop. I always finish everything on my plate and then feel overwhelmingly full afterwards. At some point in their meals, they just stop eating and pour the rest of it into a Tupperware for tomorrow. When I was thin naturally, I'd eat till I was comfortably full, till to 2/3 of a Chipotle burrito bowl, and save the rest. Now I sit there and finish the entire thing until I'm super full and then feel guilty about it afterward. Many of them get grossed out or sickened if they eat unhealthy or eat too many unhealthy meals in a row. They tend to just be more active people, even when it comes to little things. I don't mean that they're always gym rats. I mean, they opt for the stairs whenever available. Restaurant is a mile away? Let's walk. Lots of water or low/zero cal drinks throughout the day, like water, tea, with no sugar, seltzer. For me, noticing these things has helped me realize that I'm not just unlucky, it's that I've let myself fall into bad habits like snacking on calorie-dense foods and overeating. It's so easy for me to point my finger at a naturally skinny person and almost blame them, but that's not reasonable or fair to them. Most likely, they're making subconscious healthy decisions and then they indulge when they want to. I can limit myself when I think hard about it and focus, but it always feels like torture because it's always a diet or a fast. For them, it's just a matter of eating in their normal pattern. A few skinny people habits I want to adopt in the next few months. I watched my Mill eat the other day and I noticed how long it takes her to actually put a fork full of food in her mouth. She picks around her plate, adding small bits of her food to her fork to get the perfect bite. When there is no more pieces on her plate that create a perfect bite, she stops eating. I've been trying this habit the past couple of days and not only does my food actually taste better, I am much more satisfied after a meal. This helps me not eat just to finish my plate. I normally don't. I eat because I am hungry and the food is satisfying. My husband only eats when other people are eating. Even if he says he is hungry, he will wait until I am hungry to eat a meal. I have a very bad habit of eating when nobody is home because it means nobody can judge how much I'm eating. It's a lot. When possible, I want to start eating only when other people are around. The skinny people in my life seem to either be too distracted to eat or they are only concentrated on eating. In a restaurant, the thinnest friends always seem to be the last to finish because they get too wrapped up in the conversation to eat. Food is less important than the social aspect of the meal. On the other hand, when I watch my husband eat breakfast, he is only focused on eating and nothing else. When I eat, it's like I want a distraction because it's easier to not pay attention and feel bad about the food I am eating. I want to stop watching TV, Netflix, Hulu while I eat and just focus on the food in front of me. This is a tough one, but most skinny people I know don't have a 3-meal-a-day mindset. If they have a big breakfast, they may not need lunch because they are still full. Right now, I could have breakfast at 11:30 a.m. and then eat lunch at 1 p.m. just because in my mind it's lunchtime and I don't want to miss an opportunity for a socially acceptable time to eat. I want to start asking myself before each meal/snack, am I really hungry or do I just want to eat? Lastly, most of the skinny people in my life have an active lifestyle. This doesn't always mean they do a lot of scheduled exercise. A lot of those people just always seem to be doing something. I've always had an easier time losing weight in the summer and I have realized it's because I am not so damn bored all the time. Snow is an activity killer for me. When I'm bored, I eat. I want to try to keep myself moving or at least entertained most of the time. Maybe I'll go to the gym, but maybe I will just go to the library and read a book. I just need to do something besides eat if I am not truly hungry. Please share if you have any other tips. Living with skinny people is teaching me good habits. So, I'm a college student, and even though I lived with these same people last year, This year we have an apartment. I never saw them cook or eat last year because we usually just had dining hall food. We share plates, and one of the things I noticed immediately was that for every meal, they grab the small ones. I can't remember ever seeing one of the dinner plates in the sink or drying rack, and we've been here for about 5 weeks now. So, whenever I use a plate, I grab the smaller one. And, whenever I eat something like oatmeal, I use the bowl that makes my meal look bigger. Because there's nothing more sad than eating oatmeal and having it fill up like a quarter of the bowl. They don't worry about sometimes having a snack in place of a meal. Growing up, my parents would force me to eat dinner even if I just had a snack. But I wasn't hungry for dinner, I wanted a snack. So I'd end up eating both. While a part of this is probably due to their on-the-go college lifestyle, it told me that it's okay to not force down 3 full sit-down meals if I don't want it. Meal prepping is important. Now, we don't all meal prep or really plan when we do, but we're each cooking for one. It's easier to make a pot of pasta or soup and eat it for a few days than make small portions on a regular basis. I thought this might be weird, but my roommates were doing it too. The only difference for me is that I portion out my sizes before putting them in the fridge/freezer because I definitely do not trust myself to only grab one portion size from a large container. I don't have the eyes for portion sizes yet. All these small adjustments have made it so much easier to lose weight. Of course I also weigh my food and count calories, but it's important for me to learn how naturally skinny people eat and observe their relationship with food. My entire family is obese, and I can't remember the last time I wasn't obese, let alone overweight. Now I'm just nervous for when my parents visit and take a trip to Disneyland and for when I go home for break. They eat unhealthy food in large portions, so it'll be rough. I've never successfully dieted at home, and the holidays will make it worse. So if you have any tips on dealing with this or any additional skinny people habits you'd like to share, feel free to comment. Observations from watching my skinny/fit roommates' eating habits during quarantine. I think a bit of silver lining throughout quarantine has been really watching my roommates. We're all guys in our late 20s. I've now reached my goal weight. I'm still bigger than I want to be, but I've felt like I've reached this ceiling and I can't lose more. It's close to the lowest weight I've ever been and I don't necessarily feel pressure to lose more. Even still, it's hard confronting why me and my roommates are still different sizes despite eating dinner and drinking together every night. If they're not hungry, they just skip the meal altogether. I just like the act of eating. I've been trying to copy their eating patterns and go off of what they do. I don't skip meals and I realize it's definitely not out of hunger. I love eating. It's fun. Every meal is different and it has fun things to eat. Food is amazing. It's a reason to live and looking forward to meals keeps me going. But sometimes after especially heavy dinners, I notice all of my roommates just skip breakfast or have a coffee and a flippin' half a piece of plain toast. The worst part about this is they don't even notice. I think I'm full too, but even still, breakfast just happens anyways. 2. They rarely go for seconds and while I consciously try to do it less, I still clean the pot during cleanup. I've had such a strong disconnect from my hunger response for so long that I still mindlessly clean the pot when we're doing dishes. I don't know what it is. I hate throwing out any food. Especially good food. I love putting food in my mouth. 3. I'm the one finishing the chips bag every time and I'm perpetually vastly underestimating how many chips I can eat. We have snacks because obviously, they're adults with healthy relationships with food so it's not an issue for them. But I don't know what it is, once I taste one, I can't stop. It's so much worse when we're hanging out and talking. I think I've finished every chip bag we've had in the house so far. Why am I like this? 4. They crave healthy foods like salad. No matter how much I try, I don't think I do. I definitely love greens now way more than I ever thought I would. I've definitely found vegetables that I could eat very often, eggplant, zucchini, kale, spinach. But at the end of the day, trying to convince myself that it tastes as good as spicy Italian sausage feels like gaslighting. One of my roommates is even essentially vegetarian now and he pushes for meatless dinners. I'm the only one who made a stink about it, I'll even gladly be the one buying meat for the house. On this note, why can't a portion of meat be like 5 times the recommended amount? How do you stretch it and make it feel like 5 times the amount? This post is getting too long so I'll just say also, they do other things and don't obsess over food, they work out harder than I do, I think I'm still eating 1 to 2 tablespoons more than them at every meal. All my life weight has felt like such a goddamn struggle. I'm at my goal weight and it still feels so goddamn hard. I hate all of this so much. I hate being fat. I hate ever being fat. I hate all of this. I wish I was somebody else. I've kept a food diary way longer than a year and it's still not enough. It's never enough for this shit.
This is Reddit Joe channel, and don't forget to hit subscribe down below for more upcoming videos.